The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Here's what's cooking on an all-new Sports Stove Fantasy Baseball show. It's live draft time. That's right. That's all we're doing today. A fantasy baseball draft for you to hear and to learn from. That's what's cooking on today's Sports Stove Fantasy Baseball show.
Play ball!
Welcome in to an all-new edition of the Sports Stove Fantasy Baseball Show presented by BellyUpFantasySports.com and Righteous Felon Jerky. I'm your host, Vince Stover, and I am joined by the one and only senior Belly Up Fantasy Baseball writer, Kevin Wilson. Kevin, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great, Vince. And this is simply, it's a great time. And we got the draft kicking off in 3 minutes. And as we just discussed, we have no clue what we're getting ourselves into. So those that have drafts that are upcoming, you can pay attention to what's happening here, and it might give you some clues of what's going on in your own league. So
exactly. So here's the goal for the day. But the reason why we're doing this draft live on YouTube and Facebook, and as well as available afterwards on the podcast platform, is we want you to be able to listen to what goes on during a draft to get the idea of what people are thinking. So as you can kind of catch different mindsets. So throughout this draft, we're going to bring on guys that are in our league. This is a real league. Last year we started the league. So this is the second year of the league. And we're going to bring on guys throughout the draft, and they're going to talk about why they picked, who they picked, what their philosophy is, stuff like that. And then throughout the season, we're going to use this league when we talk about waivers and stats and different things like that as well. So, Kev, tell the people what kind of league we're doing.
Okay, so this is a 10-man league. It's head-to-head, and it's points. And so that's, you're going up against guys every single week. And since it's points, people can build their teams however they think is best for their team. You're not worried about stuffing categories or making sure, I got to get a stolen base guy or whatever else. You're building your team how you think is best. Do you think it's best if you have pitchers to start? If you think there's better to have hitters, and then I'll get starters later. We're going to find out what people's philosophies are. And as you mentioned, that's the reason why we're doing this live. So people get an idea, because you're going to get 10 perspectives here of what and how people build their teams. Yeah. And so as who we talked about, there's a particular gentleman who's never done this before. And so we're going to see, because we're veterans at this, but we got a new guy. So you're going to get veteran perspective. You're going to get new perspective. So you're going to get it right here, right now.
Yeah, and so we've got a Reds fan, we've got an A's fan, Yankees fan, a couple Phillies fans, 2 Brewer fans, a Dodgers fan, a Tigers fan, and a Giants fan, all in this league. So we got a good variety.
So they're not all the major league teams, big city teams. You've got A's here, you got the Tigers here, and so there's some small city teams that are here.
Yeah.
So you're going to get all kinds of perspective right
We're
now.
15 seconds away from the first pick. It's a Reds fan that is first up on the list here, Brennan Myers, who is, of course, with Belly Up Sports. All of these guys are with Belly Up Sports, with the exception of my dad, who technically, I guess, is, because he does the show with me as well. So we're getting started. Brennan Myers on the clock.
He's on the clock now.
And I don't know much about Brennan. Don't know. I mean, I know he's a Reds fan, but outside of that, I don't know kind of what his philosophy is. Me and you have said from the get-go, Shohei's got to be number 1 in a points league. And if he's
in a points league, in any league where he's not 2 separate players, he's got to be number 1 overall.
And to us, that's the go-to. You got to
obvious. So remember, I had the number 1 pick a year ago. It took me 5 seconds to hit the button. Shohei Ohtani, come on down.
And there he goes. He goes for pick number 1. If you're in a league where Shohei Ohtani, you draft him and you get him as a batter and a pitcher in 1 pick, you got to go with him number 1 overall.
Yeah, because Aaron Judge was number 2 in fantasy points a year ago, and he outscored him, I believe, by 300 points.
Man, we're flying through this. Jose Ramirez went second, followed by Juan Soto 3, which is really the order that I had him in. I agree with this so far. Nothing crazy. Last year we had some crazy picks.
All this insanity about Juan Soto going at the end of the first round is just that, insanity.
Yeah. Yeah. Soto should have a phenomenal year this year in San Diego, full year in San Diego, great lineup around him.
Absolutely. And when I talk about Ramirez, that guy right there is at the top of a slim position. So no issues with him going number 2 at all.
Andrew Childs is on the board right now with time running out. We do 60 seconds between picks. Keeps the draft moving along. And Childs is running out of time.
I don't know anything about him. So he took Garrett Cole, which I would not have done that personally.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot.
Corbin Burns, he's
off the run on pitch.
So 2 pitchers early is kind of surprising because in the mock drafts that I've done, they were still, both of them were sitting there at number 6. So that's not the case in a live draft. And
top 2
Chase,
off the board.
What are you going to do, Chase?
If you're in the first round, if you're at this point of the draft, that Cole and Burns aren't going to come back around to you in the second round more than
Aaron Judge. So there he goes off the board. He's a player I was targeting. And so you might be a little shocked, surprised. Maybe not. And it's not because I'm a Dodger guy. I'm going with Mookie Betts at number 6.
Oh, Kev, that's the guy I wanted.
Okay. As I can't see taking a first baseman in the first round. So, and I'm not taking Scherzer. So that's not
rumor has it, Kevin, that he's going to play second base this year too.
I'm not sure I'm buying into that. It may happen.
That's why I wanted him.
If he gets 10, starts at second base, that's all you need.
Yeah.
And he'll be second base eligible. And if that happens, that'll be huge.
Yeah.
I'm not counting on that, as I mentioned. But if Aaron Judge had been there, that would have been my selection. But he's not.
Yeah. Mookie's the guy I wanted. I didn't know if he could make it down to me at 10. Like I said, if he is able to pick up that second base eligibility, it would be a steal of the draft. Because second base is so weak, and you had the Altuve injury.
Especially now with Altuve out for 2 months.
Yeah. Vlad Guerrero goes next, number 8. We'll have Nick on in just a moment to talk about that.
Nick, here he is. Let's see what Nick does.
Oh, that wasn't Nick. I'm sorry. I was thinking
Nick's on the clock right now.
Who's at number 8?
That's the Oakland.
Oh, Nathan Nguyen. And then Freddie Freeman
off the board.
Man.
And he missed a major injury in the World Baseball Classic, so he's all right. He's good to go for the season.
I'm going back to back here, 10 and 11. I got 3 guys I'm interested in. One guy that I wanted, Trey Turner, shortstop. I'll go ahead and take him off the board.
Okay.
Then my choice between, I don't pick again for a long, long time.
Long time. Yeah, it's a big desert between picks right here.
So my options that I'm choosing between right now is Machado and Nola. I need a good pitcher on my team. I'm probably not going to, I'm not going to see him next time around. So I'm going to go Aaron Nola here and take my first pitcher as well.
Phillies. We talked about pitchers. We both had Aaron Nola over Scherzer.
Yes.
So that's not a shock.
Yeah, I trust Nola a whole lot more than Scherzer. We're going to let Nick pick, and then we'll put him up here on the screen as well. He's picking 9th in the draft, which now he's back on the turn, so he's at number 12. He's already picked Freddie Freeman on his team. He's getting ready to make his second pick, and then we'll add him to the screen, and we'll talk about his picks so far, what he thinks about them, and elsewhere. Did he just take Kevin Gossman?
Yes, I did.
Okay, let's.
Okay, so I'm on the board now, and this is working out well for me so far, because third base is a slim position as we talked about. So Manny Machado, come on down.
That's a good, that's good value at that point. Nick Macaronis joins the program. He was with us last week as well. Was on a lot with us last year too. A Phillies fan, but he starts off with Freddie Freeman and Kevin Gossman. Let's start with your first round pick and Freddie Freeman. You had lots of options still there at that point. So why Freddie Freeman?
Well, this is a points league, and he was projected to be the highest guy next up. He had a phenomenal monster year last season, so you can't go wrong with that. I was hoping that Judge was going to fall. He did
wasn't
not.
falling to you, Nick. If he had not gone where he went, he was coming to me.
Well, Shohei, I was hoping was going to fall, but he did not fall. He was he was 8 spots short.
8 spots short.
He was 8 spots short. So again, I went with the next biggest bat I can find. First base, it's not the slimmest position out there, but you gotta get the big bats while you can. So that's why I went with Freeman.
We got a run on pitchers.
So I'm really interested, Nick, in hearing why you took Kevin Gossman over several high-ranked pitchers that were still on the board.
Because I think he's gonna have a big year. I took a page out of Vince's book. I was not gonna have a opportunity to pick up a big time pitcher for a long time. He was the next up in the rotation. I was hoping that Vince was going to go Machado so I can go Nola, but so that's why I picked up Gossman. He's projected to have over 500 points, so I figured points league. This is my first year in the points league, so I'm going to go with the most available points.
If your number one pitcher doesn't have over 500 points, you've got problems. That's I
got 99 of them.
So you like him better than Alcantara? I think that's interesting because I'm pretty high on him.
I think Alcantara is not going to have as big a year as he did last year. It always happens. I don't think Judge is going to have a big year as he did last year.
Well, he can't have a bigger year as he did a year ago. He hit 63 home runs.
Barry Bonds
but if
did
he
it.
even comes close, well, hopefully he's not, right. He doesn't have the, the extra oomph that Bonds had. But so if he hits 40 homers, there's value with a lot of value of Aaron Judge, and he's left an injury bug behind that was an issue earlier in his career. So Aaron Judge is a pretty safe pick, I'd say.
Let me say this too. First of all, I don't make fun of people for their picks. If you love your pick, that's great, man. And I look at Gossman, and he's not in my top 10 of pitchers.
He wasn't in mine either.
And so I look at it and think, well, maybe you could have got him at the next turn. But if it's a guy you love, you got to get him when you think you got to get him, right, Kev? I mean, you can't.
God bless if you make your pick, and so hopefully it works out for you. And at least it wasn't Bieber in the first round as it happened last year. So Alcantara goes at 16. Verlander goes at 17. I wouldn't have done that. DeGrom goes at 18. There's zero chance I would have done that.
Hell
no. McClanahan, I like that. Seager, I like. Goldschmidt. Now, there was my third round target. Okay. Because as we talked about, first base is, limited, and all the drafts that I did, he was there in the third. So that's going to change my philosophy all the way around right there.
Hey, what do you think about Verlander going as high as he is?
I'm not surprised.
I would have done either.
I'm not surprised at it. His history and things like that he has that history. I'm too afraid of him. He's too old for me. But that's not shocking to me.
No, he's not going to have a sub-2 ERA this year because he's pitching, in New York. That's a whole different ball game up there. And even though he pitched in a rabbit hole, box over there in Houston, but he's 40, and I don't know. It could be value, but I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, Brennan Myers just commented, "Love me some Goldie."
I don't blame him. Okay, here I go. All right, so I'm sitting here.
Man.
looking at what we have. Dylan Cease is available, but we talked about him. I'm not doing that. I'm going to go ahead. Simeon, come on down.
That's a good, I mean, top second baseman.
He's
Auto
the top
draft,
second baseman on the board now that Altuve's hurt.
and auto draft took Altuve next. So, Nick, you're back on.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, let the clock run a little bit as you're doing this. Make sure you don't miss your pick, of course.
Sure.
Being the first time in a points league, like, how did you view it coming into it?
Get the most points possible.
All right. So you look at
because I'm used to being in the cat league. So again, I'm looking at the projections. That's what I'm going off of, and of course that you have to go with your baseball knowledge acumen as well. So if you think that a player is not going to project it as high as he's not going to end as high as he's going to project it.
You got 14 seconds, Nick.
Yes, I know. Thank you.
Okay. I'm here to help.
I understand.
Mike Trout, I like that pick. He would have made it back around to you probably following me, but I love that pick. I think it's a great value pick there as well.
In the third round, there's all kinds of upside there.
Now, we've got a league that pitching matters. And I'm at a tough spot here with my pitchers because I got a guy that I didn't expect to draft, but I think pitchers are important in this league. And man, O'Day, there's so many good players here right now that aren't going to be here when I pick again. And I hate that. Oh my goodness. This is a tough decision to make.
It is.
So I'm going to go, I'm going to go back-to-back pitchers here.
Okay.
If it'll let me pick them. There we go.
Okay, there you go.
I'm going to go Woodruff, and I'm going to go a guy that Kevin hates this year, but he puts up the points. But I don't know. There's so many good players here, position players. Do I want to pass on position players? Oh, my goodness. I'll tell you what. I'm not going to go back-to-back pitchers. I was going to go Dylan Cease, but I think I'm going to go with Nolan Arenado there, third baseman.
Okay.
My pick. Yes, I got called out for a homer
if
pick.
I didn't have Machado already, he's the guy that I would be looking at. No question.
Yeah. All right, Nick, we got to get the next guest on.
No problem.
Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for being in the league. We'll talk to you throughout the season on it too. And hey, good luck the rest of the way too.
Hey,
that's right.
Thank you.
All right, that's Nick Macaronis. You can find him at Penn Flanders on Twitter and on TSS Fantasies things as well. Next guest we're going to bring in is my dad, Dale Stover. Pull him up here. Hey, Dad, how you doing?
Hey, doing good.
All right, so let's see here. I haven't looked at your team since you picked. I'm trying to.
Ramirez, McClanahan, and Acuna. Those are solid selections to me. Oh, I'm on. So hold up. Let me.
All right, Dad, talk about your.
Wow. So, I talked about Spencer Strider.
Yeah.
I cannot pass him in the fourth round. Spencer Strider, come on down.
All right, Dad, I expected you to go more pitcher heavy than you did. So far, though, you got top guys and outfielder DH and Acuna, best third baseman and one of the best players in fantasy baseball, Jose Ramirez. And you love Shane McClanahan, so you got him as well. Second year in a points league. Did you change your strategy at all this year?
Yes, a little bit. Like I said, I used to always identify what position I wanted to take at picks, and that really wasn't the way I wanted to go. So I've got my pitchers all ranked, and then I made a pool of the top players, and I'm going to try to draft out of that until that's gone. Then I'll look at what positions I need, and I've got everybody else charted by position.
I almost took Tatis with the turn there. I just couldn't afford to do it. I knew he wasn't going to beat her when I come back for no other reason. There's auto picks going on, so that I know he'll get swapped up here. Was Tatis a consideration for you, Dad?
Not yet. I thought
it's
about it.
Too early in the draft to me, Dale, as well.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah, it's just too early. I've got him in my keeper league, but Yeah, there's too many good players have stayed on the board here, and moves kind of fast and furious. But so far, I'm pretty pleased with how it's gone. I didn't know whether to take Strider or not, so I took McClanahan, but I knew you wouldn't let him get down to me the next
there's
time.
no way he's getting by me.
Dan D'Amico goes back-to-back years with Fernando Tatis. We'll chat with him about that in a little while. Olson goes from the auto pick team. Mike, the co-founder of Belly Up, is currently up drafting. Pitchers have been hot and heavy here in these last second, third, fourth round. So you hope you got good pitchers to get you started because they're off the board. They're getting there at least now. Dad, you're back up again.
Okay.
Are you looking
Luis
to
Castillo? I'm not too sure about that. Ooh, Framber Valdez is a player I talked about. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
I like him a lot better than Luis Castillo. Let me just say that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too.
Another pitcher, Alek Manoah, coming off the board. So everybody's going after the pitchers that they didn't get early. Julio Rodriguez off the board is a good pick as well. Dad's back on the clock.
All right.
Now I can start looking at who's going to be there when I get up to pick.
That's what I'm doing right now, just to see who's coming back around.
And again, I have to look way ahead because if I want a guy, I got to go get him.
That's right.
Because he's not.
We're in that stage now where you go get your guy.
Yeah.
Okay, Bo Bichette.
I like Bichette. He scares me this year a little bit.
He does a little bit, but he put it all together a year ago.
Yeah,
so
he was good. So
and playing on Toronto, he's got 1,000 bats around him now. So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And Mike's on the clock now.
Man, this is going to be a tough when it comes back around. This is the only thing I hate about being on that turn. I know, Dad, you like being where your picks are close together, don't you?
Yes, yeah, I do. I like that. That way you kind of can know what's going to happen, and you don't know until the next time. But it gives me a little more time to plan. So,
man, I got
Robbie Ray. That's a little high to me.
Well, typically
when you got Darvish
with you. I don't know how many pitchers he had. You got to get pitchers in this league. You can make up some down the road on the waiver wire, but you want your top 2 or 3 guys.
Well, he's got 4 pitchers so far. He's got Cole, Verlander, Bieber, and Ray.
There you go.
He's got 1 bat.
Well, that's a solid pitching rotation, though.
Yeah.
Our first reliever off the board. Interesting. Yeah, and
Devin
Williams is coming up, and it's too high for me to pick Devin Williams, so I'm not sure that.
Okay, Bobby Witt, that's something I was looking at, but probably would not have done that at that point. But I missed out on my third baseman, so Mr. Riley, come on down.
Oh man, those were 2 of the guys I was going to take. Was on my list of people to take.
Actually, I got 2 third basemen. I got Machado and Riley.
I was going to say, you didn't miss out on a third baseman, so I was kind of bummed. I was going to go out there and grab
third base is locked down for me now.
And this is interesting because I'm sitting here at the turn again. I don't love the pitchers that are sitting here and available right now.
You don't like Darvish?
I'm not a Darvish guy.
Okay. I have not been in the past. He's kind of turned the corner back around, though.
I am going to take Albies. I'm going to let the clock run for a minute, though, so I can see what else I want to do. I actually have a little bit of odd faith in Zach Gallen this year, but I'm afraid to take him here.
Zach Gallen is a guy that I think is going to have a big year.
If he's healthy, he should be really good. Let's take Ozzie Albies, who is a top baseman for me. To be able to snag him here, I think is a solid place for him. Man, looking through these guys that are not going to come back around to me.
Yeah, there are quite a few of them. There's your Williams pick.
Yeah, no, I definitely am not going to do that.
Okay.
Let's take a swing at a guy that Everybody's in on. I don't know, man. This is a tough one. I hate this spot.
Yeah, I'm not big on Urias, even though he pitches for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And he's looked good in the baseball classic, but I don't know.
Time. All right. I'll take the guy that everybody's high on. Vinny Pasquantino.
I'm going to take your word that is, in fact, his last name.
Yeah. So, Dad, any surprises that you've seen yet on this draft?
Well, it's kind of happened so quick. I don't. There hadn't been anything that's seemed just real crazy from there. So, we'll see. Like I said, it moves quick, so a little hard to keep up.
It's going quick, and so who do I like, Gallen or Christian Javier? I'm going to go Gallen.
Yeah, man. To me, Gallen was kind of the sleeper pick, a guy that a lot of people probably don't like if they've had him just because he's been injured, but he's really good. Dad, we're going to take you off the air. Thanks.
All right.
Good luck. You haven't
Giants. Sorry, I didn't add a lot, but we'll see what we got. So.
All right. Good luck. We'll see you.
All right. Bye.
All right. So, Kevin, man, we're flying through this. We got guys going left and right. And like I said, man, that second pick, I didn't know who I wanted. There wasn't anybody that I loved.
No, there wasn't anybody I loved either. And so there's some guys that I like. But
and I just can't take a reliever
for these guys right here. In this, there's guys that I think are way too high up in this ranking.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
Okay, so there goes Urias off the board. So hopefully that works out for him.
Logan Webb. So, yeah, pitchers are going to continue to roll.
I like Logan Webb. Now, I had him a year ago, and the Giants can't possibly be as bad as they were. Yeah, the year before they won 107 games. So I like that selection.
Varsho. I almost drafted him, but he's not my top catcher. No catcher had gone off.
No, and that 6th round is too early for a catcher to me, even though he's going to be an outfielder. He's not the value he was a year ago, that's for sure.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
And Will Smith? No, not doing that either.
I had him last year in a league. Actually, I had him and Real Muto in the
great catcher, no question. But to go in the 7th round, I'm not doing that.
I mean, he's my 3rd ranked catcher, I think.
I believe that's
4th. I had him 4th.
But the problem with that is there are catchers behind him that are not that far away.
Agreed. Varsho, though, the first one off the board is interesting. Now, again, he gives you versatility. You play him at outfield, so you might even play him at catcher, depending on how the draft falls for you. But
I'm sure that if I had him, he'd be at the catcher position more often than not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. But you probably wouldn't even look for another catcher if you got him.
No. I only have one catcher on my team to begin with.
Yeah, I like to have two catchers personally. If they're good, I don't want to have a horrible team, or 2 bad catchers.
No,
late in the draft.
Because then you got players that'll play 3 days a week, and that's not helping your team.
I think we're going to have guys start hunting positions at this point, Kevin.
I think so.
We have that point where guys are going to look at their roster and say, "Well, I don't have any of this position." So they're going to. You see that in football a lot too, tight ends and things like that. Where guys are like, "Oh, I don't have any tight ends. I better go draft one," and so they might reach for them, but they're trying to fill a spot. I try not to pay a whole lot of attention to who I have in spots at this point in the draft.
At this point in the 7th round, it's a little bit earlier to be looking to fill roster spots yet. Unless it's a position that's really lacking.
Yeah. 2 relievers have been off the board.
I'm not reaching for players.
Devin Williams and Clase have both been off the board now. The top 2 relievers in my rankings.
Yeah. After what happened with
Diaz.
Diaz, he was my top closer.
Yeah.
Not anymore, obviously.
Yeah. So Chase is
All right,
here.
so Chase is back on the clock. Let's see what he's got going on.
Stephen
Josh
Kwan.
Bell, I would not have done that.
I think it's high. Now that's where ESPN has him ranked.
Right.
To me, that's higher than I was comfortable with him. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at some of these players available, and I'm going, man,
Yeah.
you know, if you love them, you love them. But
If you love them, you love them. And so, well, actually, he picked Stephen Kwan. Josh Bell's on the clock, which I'm not doing, by the way.
yeah, he picked Kwan, not Bell.
Okay. So my bad on that one. And the player that I really like in this position, Mr. Cedric Mullins. We talked about him a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I like him a lot. And that gives me Betts and Mullins in my outfield. So outfield is off to a great start for me.
Oh, man. This is an interesting spot again of the draft. Jake Cronenworth
would not have done that.
I'm at oh my goodness. I don't know what to do. First of all, I'm going to reach here. And I'm going to take Willie Adames. I know that for a fact.
Well, take him in your next pick because then it's not that big a reach.
Oh no, it's going to be the greatest pick of the year when everybody looks back and goes, "Wow, Adames picked in the 7th round. Somebody knew what they were doing." So Adames goes here in the 7th round. Yes, it's a homer pick. Yes, it's a reach. But I'm going to take him there. Man, I need pitching, but at this point, I look at the pitchers and I don't think that there's a lot of separation between them and the next guy.
Is not.
So I'm going to go stick with position players.
Okay.
I'm trying to choose between a couple of guys, and I think, ooh, man, oh man, wow. I'm going to go. He's my number 2 ranked catcher on the board, Adley Rutschman. I'll go ahead and secure my catcher.
Well, he was an absolute value a year ago. That's not happening this year.
Yeah, he's not near the value he was, is he?
Because you could get him off the waiver last year.
Yeah. Well, I drafted him, but late in the
That's
draft.
right. You drafted him, then dropped him, then you got him back again, if I remember correctly.
I think I stashed him. Did I drop him? I dropped him. I picked him up early again.
I'm not sure. I know that when he picked it up, you were the beneficiary of that. So
let's bring on.
All right. So Logan Gilbert off the board.
Kevin's picking. We're going to bring on our next guest, Chase Thornton, fellow Brewers.
Chase, and look at that. The Brewers representing.
How are we doing?
All right. So I've talked about how big I am on this guy. So Mr. Arias, come on down.
Yeah, positional eligibility is a
second baseman. I like that mixture. And so, first baseman is a wasteland probably at this point in the draft.
Listen, you've sniped me twice now. So.
Okay.
So I'm not your biggest fan right now.
Who did I snipe, Chase?
Who the hell did you snipe? Because now now I'm freaking out because I'm on the clock. I got to pick.
You're on the clock.
Give me 15 seconds here.
Take a deep breath. Get your pick in.
Make your pick.
There's still time for Rowdy Tellez. You can grab him here if you want.
Right? Yeah. Take him into
Michael Harris is the guy that I talked about. Vince, I'm a little higher on him than you were.
Yes. Yeah, but I like him too. Chase, first time playing fantasy baseball.
First time playing fantasy baseball. So I'm over my head here. I'm just trying to keep my head above water.
We're in round 8. You've got Alonso and Witt, Tucker, Kwan, and Harris, and Aaron Judge. That's a pretty solid crew. And then you've got Wheeler and Javier as your pitchers at the moment as well. How happy are you with the way the draft's gone, although you said you've been sniped twice already?
Yeah, well, I wasn't expecting Judge necessarily to fall to 6. And honestly, I was probably looking at pitcher there, probably looking at Burns had he fallen. Actually, Kevin and I had talked about that earlier.
That's right. We talked about that this morning.
So I was like, oh well, okay. I'll go with the hitter. Why not? But yeah, I thought I knew baseball. I know football, but like I said to on our show this morning, I could tell you the third string backup, right guard for the Jaguars in football season. But I thought I knew baseball until I started looking at fantasy. I was like, man,
Yeah.
there's just so many damn names. There's so many names.
And that's why I like fantasy baseball. It helps me keep up with what's going on. It helps me learn people and see teams.
You have to, especially when you get into waiver pickups and stuff like that. So, Jace, who did I snipe? I'm curious.
Let me hold on now, because now it happened so damn long ago. Now I'm freaking out. Well, Gallon I was going to take before I took Javier, so you're welcome there. Gallon was a guy you sniped on me.
Okay. That's not a guy I was looking to draft until I was.
Well, you should have left him one more pick then. That would have helped, dude. Strider, I think Strider was on my radar.
Okay, Strider is the guy that we talked about on this last week. He's at the top of my pitcher board, and so actually he wasn't. Corbin Burns was at the top, but he was obviously gone in the first round. And so Strider's a guy I had a year ago, and I expect big things from him this year. Yeah,
no, I liked him. I had him ranked, and I was going to jump all over that. There goes Real Muto. So I'm up here. The hell do I need yet? Ugh.
Yeah, you got to look through your roster. The guys you like.
The guys I like all went. They're gone. They're gone.
Nobody left to like.
There's dudes left to like. You just got to know. You got to know where to grab them, or you got to be okay with. You got to be okay with swallowing Dansby Swanson's K's or something like that at this point. And I don't know that I am.
We're definitely put pressure, but you got 10 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, so Xander Bogaerts. All right, so you poach.
Xander.
Okay. Poach, so you're got one of my guys, and
there we go. Hey, all right.
As you mentioned, I am not big on a lot of these names right here. And
it's kind of the dead zone for excitement.
Yes.
It is. And so I'm going to poach one of your guys, Vince.
Oh.
And that's Mr. Robert. Come on down.
Oh, yeah. I probably was going to take him. Yeah, I probably was going to take him.
I don't know if you
Chase,
pronounce that Robert
what is your
Robert or what? So.
Robert, yeah. What is your? Did you have a philosophy coming into this draft? Because obviously you've done fantasy football a lot.
Yeah.
When you get into fantasy baseball, did you have a? Oh, Melendez gets sniped from Kevin. We'll talk about that in a minute, Kev. Did you have a strategy coming into this, or were you kind of a wait and see kind of guy?
Kind of like what Nick said earlier. Though I'm looking for points, obviously, because this is the first time I've done anything like this. But I'm looking to minimize strikeouts for my hitters. I was hoping to do that, which is, like I said, why I'm not as big on Dansby Swanson. I'll take Xander Bogaerts and the little bit of a discount, or little bit of production he'll give me there. But and then on the pitching side, I'm looking for innings. Yeah, more opportunities to do things because, I knew I wasn't going to be hammering pitching early. I hear you say now earlier in the production here that pitchers are important in this league. So then I was like, okay, well, maybe I got to shift that philosophy. Wasn't necessarily looking to take, two top end guys. I didn't necessarily get two shining stars, but I got some guys that scored some points and that'll score. Wheeler will be you said, a 500-some point.
Starting pitching gets you the most points.
Yeah,
because you can get 20 points out of a pitcher.
Yeah, and you're looking. Yeah, you can use a guy, get him twice a week especially if he's in a good stretch. He's got a good matchup. A couple good matchups.
And that's the thing that I watch during the season. Guys that I use that I pick up that have 2 start weeks.
Who's pitching? Who's pitching 2 starts against some weak ass.
Right. If they're going up against Houston and New York in a 2-start week, probably not going to do that.
Right. No, so that was my rough philosophy. I was basically Bryant. BPA.
I don't know.
Chris. That's really for Chris Bryant.
Yeah, that's a little.
Even I know that.
That's on Chris Bryant.
That's a hot pick right there. Okay, so now I'm on the.
Yeah, Chris Bryant is the only Rocky that I was willing to draft.
But not there.
As we talked about that.
Originally, it wouldn't have been my plan to take him there, but I was running out of time.
I don't have a shortstop on my team, and I like Swanson, but I don't like him more than Edmund. So I'm going to take Edmund right here.
Yeah. So here's my thought. I was going to take Hunter Green. I already took Lodolo at the first pick. I thought about, hey, why not? But I cannot have two Reds pitchers on my team.
You can't do that.
Yeah, that's one of those things that you just feel naughty about.
Yeah, can't do it. Can't do it.
As we got a 5-1 score here in the USA up on Cuba in the WBC.
Nice. I saw Turner with another home run.
Yeah.
I drafted him in the first round. If he's winning for America, he's got to be on my team.
No, he hit. It might be landing in my backyard anytime soon because he launched that thing.
Prefer to Rockies, Nick says.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's all well and good, but he's not coming to Team Wilson.
He won't be.
Yeah,
He might be on the Rockies. He won't be on the Chasers.
Yeah, I'm banking on Chris Bryant having a comeback season. Will it happen? Who knows?
All right, Chase, what are we doing? Got 10 seconds.
Criminies. Yeah. There.
Okay. That's not a bad selection.
And it's a name I know.
Yeah.
That's not a bad selection.
At this point, I like green uniforms. We'll take a guy from the A's. No,
not that bad.
Yeah, I like that position. In the 10th round, batting for Houston.
10th round, yeah, he's on the right offense, I guess, and
he's a first baseman, which is as we mentioned, is a wasteland.
He was the highest ranked guy left on my first base rank. So
very good.
If you're going to trust your own rankings, but yeah.
Chase, we're excited about you being in the league and being in your first year. We're excited to baptize you into fantasy baseball this year.
Yeah, go easy on me.
We got our other guests waiting, so we're going to get to him. But Chase, thanks so much, man. Good luck in the draft. Good luck in the league. We'll bring you back on throughout the season. We'll talk about how
not a problem. We'll be here. Go Brewers.
All right, thanks.
Dodgers.
All right. Chase Thornton, excited to have him in the league. He's going to be fun to have around.
Yep.
And it's time for the champ, Kev. The one and only Dan D'Amico back with us.
All right, so let me pull you up, Dan. So Dan, there you are. Burns, Alcantara. You took some pictures, Dan, at the top.
I foolishly thought Trey Turner had a chance to make it to me at 16. I didn't want to take him at 5 with this being a points league.
Yeah.
But I think Vince saw me take Corbin Burns and went, all right, I'm going to get Phillies trade bait for him. He took Nola and Trey Turner.
Hey, listen, I have Turner as my number one shortstop. I had him as a first-round lock. He's a guy I want. Him and Mookie Betts were the two guys I really, really wanted outside of Burns. But I knew Burns wasn't going to get to me. I knew that wasn't going to happen. But I want to ask you, you went first reliever off the board too with Clase from Cleveland. You get points obviously for closers, and he's going to be one of the top closers. Is that your mindset with him?
Yeah, he's a guy that he'll come in 2, maybe 3 times a week. The Guardians are probably going to win 90 games again. That division's pretty horrible still. And he's going to lock down the 9th inning for them. Then he's going to get me 10 to 11 points. He'll strike out 2 guys, get the save. And if he does that twice a week, that's basically a start every week.
Yeah.
So reliability is not something you get from pitchers a lot. I think Emmanuel Clase is about as reliable as they come.
Well, he is now, seeing as how Diaz is out for the year now.
That was rough watching that. And also there was a small part of me that texted a couple of my friends that are Mets fans and just poked them a little bit. As much as you don't want to see guys get hurt. Oh, I only have 10 seconds.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were paid.
All right, I'm going to do it.
Nice. I like that pick. I know it's a little early in the 11th round for guys.
It's a little early for me, but
I did it last year with Tatis and it didn't work. I think I picked him in the 10th round.
You got Tatis and Harper.
Yeah, I got Tatis, who's going to miss the first 20 days or so. But when he's healthy and playing well, he's a guy that should have gone in the top 5. So I'm with a 4th round pick. I believe I got him with. I'm banking on that. Him, if he can give me 100.
You know that you're going to have to keep him on your roster because you can't put him in an IL spot.
Yeah. For the first,
Harper, he goes on an IL spot.
Yeah.
For the first 20 days, I can live having 3 bench spots.
Yeah. I like Tatis. I was hoping he would fall to me at my next pick, which was a ways down. I didn't figure he'd get there. Well, and we had an auto picker, so I knew we probably weren't going to get there. But
all right, so I'm on the clock now, and Singer's at the top. I'm not big. Maybe later in the draft, I would be big on him. But I like Montgomery, so Jordan Montgomery, come on down.
Interesting. I don't
He's
like
one of the guys that I wrote about as being a starting pitcher target, and I need starting pitcher target. So
yeah.
The starting pitching is not. I don't like most of it.
I'm in full reach mode at this point. I'm going out and getting guys that I love. Nick's on the board right now.
So was there any players that have been taken so far, Dan, that you were surprised went that early?
Well, I was driving for most of the first 5 rounds.
Okay.
So I didn't see most.
Chris Bryant, maybe.
Chris Bryant was picked. I thought he'd be a free agent that I could pick up if he had a good week.
All right, so I told you I'm in full reach mode right now. I got guys I like.
Okay, so Nick took Ahmed Rosario. That's a little early to me.
Well, I mean, if you don't have a shortstop,
if you don't have a shortstop,
I like O'Neal Cruz better. But I already have 2 shortstops, so I'm not there.
Yeah, I've got Edmund at my shortstop spot. So
shortstop
is, it's changed over the last couple of years. Shortstop used to be the Death Valley days, but it's not anymore.
I have a strategy this year with my outfield, and it's take a chance on guys. Chris Bryant, Corbin Carroll, and
that's not that big of a reach.
I think Corbin Carroll is going to be a really good player.
The doors off the place. I think so.
Corbin Carroll was a target of mine. I wanted him on my team, so I was going to do anything I could to get him there.
Oh, there's Christian Yelich.
There he comes off the board. All right, so let me see what's going on here.
Watching Yelich swing in spring training, he's going to bat leadoff a lot this season. The team's going to be better. The shift changes slightly. I said this earlier. This is my last year of hope for Yelich to show.
There goes the relief pitcher off the board to me,
Ryan
Presley. That's probably the only one that'll come on my team.
I'm surprised Kyle Wright hasn't gone yet.
Don't say anything else.
Sorry.
Unless someone's listening.
I'm surprised O'Neal Cruz hasn't gone yet. Still on the board. Shock.
It says that he's scheduled to start tomorrow. Kyle Wright.
Oh yeah, he was actually listening. He was listening. Kyle Wright got picked.
He's still on my screen down here, and I could see him go.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Poor Dan. No. He's had a rough couple years in the draft.
Hey, I made sure I got Hoskins this year.
Yes, you did. You went out and got your guy.
Yeah, that's the guy you could have got probably 3 rounds later. Dan.
I wasn't gonna risk it.
No, Chase says you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. Oh boy. Wow, that minute went really fast too. All right,
Walker,
I guess I'll go with
here. You gotta you took there goes Christian Walker. I was gonna say there's some value there.
I love O'Neal Cruz, Dan. I think he's going to have a really, really good season this year.
He's got the tools to be he's the fastest player in the league. If not, he's in the top 5. He's got top 10 raw power in the league. He's 6'8", which is a little concerning sometimes. I don't know if he can repeat his swing all the time, and he strikes out a bunch.
Yeah.
But if he can tap into the raw power, make some more contact, he's a guy that could maybe convince the Pirates to try and win. And it takes a lot. It takes a guy winning an MVP to convince the Pirates to try and win. And I think he definitely has that upside.
Dad went out and got Jonathan India, another guy that I think is going to come back to form.
And then Ketel Marte comes off the board. 13th round, maybe.
Yeah. I like
Second
Marte.
baseman.
This Arizona is going to be. They're going to be a decent team. They're not going to be great by any stretch of the imagination, but they're going to be a decent team
But
this
they've
year.
got a lot of young hitters you have to be excited about.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Dan, in your draft so far, do you feel like you've got the defending champion roster, or is it going to be a wait and see on some of these guys? Because you got Phillies, you got Harper, Hoskins, and Real Muto. I can't talk. I got lots of Brewers on my team.
Yeah, I've got the 3 Phillies hitters that I want. Schwarber strikes out a lot, but so does Rhys Hoskins.
Yeah, but he'll hit you 40 home runs.
Yeah,
He walked 98 times.
I'm hoping
So-
Rhys Hoskins gets a walk into the sunset for the Phillies. Final contract year gets a career high in home runs and then makes a lot of money like playing for the Red Sox. It seems like this will be Hoskins' last year with the Phillies.
Okay.
And I believe it was someone writing for the Inquirer compared it to Pat Burrell's last year with the Phillies. That was in 2008, where everyone else on the team was signed long term, and Pat Burrell was the odd man out. And it seems like Rhys Hoskins might be the odd man out in terms of finding where to get the luxury tax payments under control. So I'm hoping that Hoskins can have a great year, and I'll be the beneficiary of it.
Yeah. I had 2 guys I had on my queue that just went. Gunnar Henderson goes. My dad took him. Eloy Jimenez goes.
I know you like him, so
yeah. And I could have taken him instead of Yelich and hoped Yelich got back to me. But I like Yelich. I think Yelich is a safer pick than Jimenez, even though I really like Eloy Jimenez this year.
if he stays healthy, then Jimenez blows the doors off
Yeah.
of Yelich, but there's no guarantee of that.
He could. Dan's back on the clock.
You got 8 seconds.
I don't know.
You have Rowdy. He's yours.
You got 17 first
I
basemen.
don't want Rowdy Tellez.
Anytime Rowdy Tellez hits a home run, I message our old buddy Graham Wallace and say thank you because he's a Toronto fan, and we traded with Toronto, and Graham always comes back with a very polite. I think both teams made out well in that trade, so that's fine. Oh man, but it's a good time. It's a good time. Dan, again, you are the champ. You are the one we're all gunning for this year, and you got a pretty good squad. Oh, come on, quit drafting the players I want. Joe Musgrove.
I was picking between the 2 of them,
man,
and Ryan and Musgrove.
Okay, so I'm not big on my first baseman, so I'm going to go.
Rowdy.
I'm surprised I'm doing this. I'm going low.
Going
surprised. I'm not surprised.
I didn't think I was going to do that, but there he is.
Yeah. All right. Dan, we're going to get you back on throughout the year, of course, and talk to you. And people keep taking everybody that I had on my list. Now I got to have to think about who in the world I'm going to take here. Like I said,
Hernandez, there's 0 chance I would have done that.
Oh, I was going to take him.
I've had him, if you recall, as my bust outfielder. So
yes, I recall.
I would not have done that.
I recall. Oh my goodness, I have no idea what to do now. I could keep going outfielders. Do I have a first baseman? Yeah, I do. I got Vinny Pasquantino.
There's your Ty France right there.
Yeah, I know, but I already got a first baseman. I still have a third base empty spot.
Okay. There's your Diaz.
Oh no, not Yandy Diaz.
Then there's no third baseman coming around for quite some time.
Yeah, France is a fair pick here to fill that slot. And then
Yandy Diaz walks a whole lot.
Yeah,
and he doesn't strike out.
I can't allow him on my team. It's against my religion.
He'll find his way onto mine at some point.
Taylor Ward, he could be up for something.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a guy.
I don't know about the 14th round for him though.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a guy that Kevin liked a lot last year, and he's not as high on this year. But I'm taking a shot on outfielders this year. I think I like this round here, 14 for Starling Marte.
He just has to be healthy.
Yeah. Yes, he does. As do they all.
He seems to get faster as he ages, or
Right?
at least better at stealing bases.
Yeah. And
Which
this year,
crazy.
everybody's going to be better at it, hopefully. So, all right, Dan, we're going to take you off, man. Thanks for jumping on with us. Like I said, we're all coming for you. We'll talk to you throughout the season and check in on your team and make sure to mock you heavily if it does bad.
That's right. You gotta
Thank
be
you so
ready
much for
that.
having me.
And so,
All right. We'll see you.
See you guys.
all right. So I'm on the clock now, and
You're back, Kev.
yep. I talked about that I was big on John Gray, but Molly's sitting there, and I like him better, so I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah, I hate Molly, but not as much as I hate Gray. So I'd be there with you on that one too. Oh man, I overlooked a guy. I probably would have taken Castellanos there instead of Marte. Oh well, that's okay. I don't think I'm gonna say too much.
I like Marte over Castellano. So.
But Castellanos has to do better this year than he did last year.
Well, there's a whole lot of players that has to do better, but
oh man, now I'm starting to look through all these players and figure out who's going to be here when I come back around. Sean Murphy. We'll start.
See, that was a player I thought maybe might come back around, but no.
Yeah, but you still got guys down there that you like. I wondered when Jazz was going to go. Dan takes.
That's a little early. That's way earlier than I thought.
I think it's a value pick. Honestly.
I do too. And especially when he gains that outfield qualifications, whatever.
Yeah.
And but I wouldn't have been looking to take him quite yet.
Man, I like these guys down in the 200s better than I like the guys that are at the top of the list right now.
There's no lie, Vince. You look at some of these guys. I'm not going to say, obviously who I'm looking at, but
right.
We're a long ways to get back to where we are. So
yes, man, this is going to be really interesting.
So there goes Castellanos. We were just talking about him. Mike takes him. Now your dad's on the clock. I'm always listening.
Yeah, that's the case. Yeah. Always listening. Oh my goodness.
I don't know about that. Taking Wilson Contreras.
Love it. I do. I think he's a top 5 catcher.
I like him as well, but I think I would have waited till this pick right here if I was going to do that.
Well, I mean, you look at them. Real Muto, Rutschman, Varsho, Smith is gone. Kirk, Melendez, and Murphy are gone.
Right.
I got him above Kirk, Melendez, and Murphy, so I think that's a huge value there. Clayton Kershaw, Jesse Winkler goes. That's a Reds fan. Brennan Myers is, and Winkler, of course, not on the Reds, but played for the Reds and was great.
Right.
For the Reds.
And I had him as a value, but way later in the draft.
What about Byron Buxton? He's a cannot draft for me.
No, unless it's the last round, which has happened a couple of times. Even then, I was like, I don't know. You might get 56 games out of him, and that's all.
Yeah.
And there goes our Yandy Diaz pick. And there's Salvador Perez, which I would be looking to take with this pick coming up. Probably. But
Salvador, man, he got beat up in that World Baseball Classic game the other night. Last night, he's getting hit everywhere. I felt bad.
I can understand why teams are hesitant to let players go play in this.
Oh, I can't, man. You got to let him go. This is.
Well, I know you got to let
4
him
years,
go, but there's all kinds of downside with the World Baseball Classic.
I got to be honest with you, Kev. I think I'm going to be reaching every pick from here on out. I got guys that I like, but they're not ranked where I have them ranked, and I'm afraid to wait on them. Ryan Helsley, relief pitcher from St. Louis, goes. He's got potential to have a great year.
He's pitching for a great team. Anthony Rendon, there's zero chance I would have done that.
I'm glad that this is Chase's first year in fantasy baseball.
Yeah. So
Rendon,
I'm on the clock now, and
great pick 6 years ago.
And there are two pitchers here because I know you don't like Gray, but I talked about Drew Rasmussen. I do like him. I'm going to take him. Come on down.
Yeah, Drew, I would definitely take him over Gray, over Chris Sale, who's up there on the list right now too. Sale scares me health-wise. He could have a phenomenal year, but he scares me.
He could, but there's zero chance I'm going to reach and pick him. So let's see. Alex Verdugo, not feeling that.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at him earlier. I mean, where we are in the draft is not that big of a deal.
No, but still, there are players I would have taken over him.
Oh, you got me. Shamanea. Nick took him. He was on my list of guys to take.
He's a guy that has burned me in the past, so you wouldn't have to worry about me swooping in on him. So,
man, oh man, let's see here. What do we think about Seiya Suzuki? Is he going to be any good this year? The Cubs outfielder?
He could be, but he started off fine, and then it looked like he got a little outclassed in the major leagues. So maybe he gains the experience and steps up. But I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
Tyler Glasnow. Okay.
Yeah, Glasnow's a guy. He's injured. But if he comes around and pitches,
Peralta's a pick I like. I like.
Do you like that one?
I do like that. I know there's downside to him, but he could be the guy that turns out to be the best pitcher on a staff.
That would be interesting. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Nick's back up again. Whew, man, I got to figure out how I want to fill out my roster now. Because now I'm getting into the point where I'm looking at, okay, bench guys. And I just don't like anybody. I don't like anybody that's left.
No,
good.
I'm going to say right off the bat, there's zero chance that Martinez is coming on Team Will.
Martinez.
So let's take a look here. You know what I'm going to do? Andrew Vaughn, come on down.
I almost took him. I knew you liked him.
I do like him. Outfield, first base. There's a lot that I like about him. Even though I do have two other first basemen, but still, I like what he can do. And I would have taken Mr. Gray if he had been sitting there.
D'Amico wanted Vaughn.
Oh, no. Damn, I'm sorry. Poached.
Kevin will give you a great deal on it, Dan.
That's right. So if you want to, go ahead and, start your negotiations, that's fine.
I like the Matt Chapman pick there. Chase redeemed himself after picking Rendon. I think that's a great value for Chapman. You don't like the Chapman pick?
Well, I like that, but he just took a third baseman.
Yeah,
right before that. So
but he's going to have to drop Rendon pretty soon in the league. So he had to step up and take him, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I would have taken two third basemen in a row. I'm just saying.
Oh man, I'm going to be in a really. I did not follow what I thought I was going to do in this draft, and now I'm sitting looking back.
That's the thing about the draft. Once it gets going, then the philosophy goes out the window.
Yeah,
because there were players. I was targeting Goldschmidt in the third.
Yeah,
I was targeting him. I was targeting Machado in the second. I actually did get him. The first, I was like, well, I'll take whoever I think is best. So I had no target there. So I got one of my targets, but then Goldschmidt came off the board. I really like him. I had him as my top first baseman, even though he's not ranked anywhere else as the top first baseman. I liked him.
Yeah.
And as a third round selection, there's all kinds of upside there. Whit Merrifield, I don't know, Dale.
Hey, yeah, I'm not taking him, so I'm glad somebody did. He was so bad last year. I mean, so bad last year.
He was. And he had 2 different teams to get it together on and didn't.
Yeah. And we're in round 17 of 26 rounds.
Hey, Alex Bohm, I like that. If you're going to take a third baseman, I like that.
Bohm is a guy, man, I don't know. He scares me as well.
He does, but, this late in the draft,
Vaughn Grissom, I like. I wasn't going to take him just because I really didn't need the position. Otherwise,
so there goes Chris Sale off the board.
Yeah.
CJ Crone is a player that I liked earlier on that kind of soured on me just a bit. So
I'm
not sad that I didn't get him.
I am anti CJ Crone. I don't think he's a horrible pick or anything.
The only reason why I was really looking at that is because he pitches or he hits in Colorado.
Yeah.
All right, Chase. What are you going to do now?
He's got to go for another third baseman, right?
He does.
And
you can have Gleyber Torres till your eyes fall out of your head. I'm not doing that.
He went Tyler O'Neill, which I think is a really solid pick.
Tyler O'Neill. So they want me to take Gleyber Torres. No, not going to happen. Sorry to tell you. All right. So, you know what? Alex Cobb, come on down.
Oh, he was on my list of people to draft. That's a good pick. Great value right there for him. I think, at least at that spot. Some interesting guys on here. Saya Suzuki's still one of those guys I just look at and go, he's a question mark, right?
Right, he is. But as we go later in this draft, then just couldn't pull the trigger on Torres not 2 years in a row, which I understand that, Mike. Because I had him the year before. Didn't have him last year, but I had the year before, and it was, like I said, it was like taking ice picks out of your eyes. So.
Oh, my goodness. They got an interesting infield in New York. I mean, they've got guys they got to figure out who can win the playing time.
They do. And they've got some players that I'm not big on their defense. So we'll have to see how that works out for them. Hey, there's Torres for you.
Yeah, I told you I'm reaching at this point for guys. I'm kind of afraid of some of these guys. Anderson had a great year last year. He moves over to the Angels.
Which I'm not big on that move over.
I'm not either. But again,
I like it better on the Dodgers, obviously.
We're in round 18.
Because the Dodgers know what to do with their pitchers. I'm not sure the Angels do.
And then here's a guy that scored a lot of points last year, and he's ranked in the 200s. I like him better than the other guys, so I'm going to take him here, Cal Quantrill from Cleveland.
He was the guy that was ranked up there higher than this last year.
Yeah.
And so he's a guy that's got potential.
Yeah, I've hit a lot of pitchers here in these last several picks, and that gives me some versatility here at the end of the draft to figure out how I want to go about my bench guys as well.
So look at this, and there are a lot of players who are injured. That you really got to be questioning about. Let's see here. Oh. I am not big on these guys right now.
I do want to remind everybody or tell everybody we've got a Belly Up Baseball Super Show coming on a week from Tuesday. Get us ready for the season. It's not a fantasy show. It's just a baseball show. and it's going to be a fun time. Hope you'll join us. That'll be on the Belly Up
That's right.
YouTube page. We'll be on that one.
Okay, so a lot to look forward to when it comes to fantasy baseball.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and I picked Springs.
Yeah.
I think there's upside there. Simply because I didn't like these other guys coming up behind him. I like Suarez, but I see he's got injury there, so let's take a look at that. Bullpen session start during the opening week of the regular season. Okay. Players that have injuries, I'm a little leery about draft.
Sure.
But I do like Ranger Suarez.
Oh, see, Tim Anderson, good pick, Chase. I was looking at Tim at my next pick if he was going to fall.
You can have him. Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, round 18 for Tim Anderson's, I think that's a great deal.
Andre Jimenez in this round is a great value.
Yeah, there's some guys down here still that are worth it, in my opinion. Well, we are at an interesting spot. In the draft, though.
We're 18th round now.
So I've got two guys that I want at picks 190 and 191, and we're only at pick 180 right now. So I got to sit here and just sweat it out and hope they fall to me. Tellez is already off the board, so I can't take him. But
okay.
Profar goes here, and you said he just signed somewhere.
That's what Nick was saying. He went to Colorado. I cannot confirm that information at this point. Let me see. Let me come over here.
Yeah, so we're sitting here. Let's see. It's on Fox, so it's true. Nick Macaronis throws it out there for us. So there we go. Fox has reported it.
Nick is on the spot. All right.
Breaking news.
But even
so,
that's not. I'm not doing that.
I like Pena. I don't think I would have taken him there.
No.
But I would have taken him far ahead of Estrada.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're reaching all over the place now.
Tristan Casas, one of my bus candidates.
Jake McCarthy, man, I like that.
I like it.
Whole lot. A whole lot.
He's
There's
probably
lots of
Diamondback, right? The last Diamondback to go.
Yeah.
More than
there's lots of upside to like with him. He's got speed. He can hit the ball.
All right, let's see if Chase is a real Brewers fan. He'll take Wade Miley here. Oh my goodness. All right. So Kevin, you got a guy you want that you're hoping, don't say who it is, but that you think that you're hoping Chase doesn't take? Or are you searching for who you're gonna pick?
I'm searching high and low for as many nuggets as I can possibly find, and see lots of fool's gold going on right now.
Yeah.
Ranger Suarez. So I opened my mouth up about him. And Senga, nobody knows anything about him. And so I think it is time. 19th round.
You going for your
time
catcher?
To go catcher, Tyler Stevenson. Come on down.
Nice. I like it. All right, here we go. Now's where it all comes down to it. Can Nick read my mind? We're gonna see. And Kevin, we talked about this. I'm joking about this right now. We've had some guys taken that we were hoping to get and things like that. But we talked about this on the last fantasy show where you have guys who are trying to think who's he going to want. So I'm going to take him, and then they miss out on guys. And we always hope for those kind of guys that are trying to figure out what you're thinking versus guys that they're thinking. He goes Clay Holmes. Yankees relief pitcher, good pick for a relief pitcher at this point as well. All right, good. Both of the guys that I wanted are still here.
Okay, so let's see what you do.
We're in round 19. Pick, what is this? 190. I'm gonna go Giancarlo Stanton.
Okay.
To fill out my outfield. And then I'm gonna go with a possible breakout pitcher from the Miami Marlins if he can stay healthy. And you always need a guy named Jesus on your team. So Jesus Luzardo is going to join.
I always wondered, how do you name your kid? Jesus. I always wondered.
Yeah, I think in Latin speaking countries it's different than us. So
yeah,
here's
it is different. But,
oh, you're on the clock. I'll wait and let you.
I
pick.
am on the clock, and so there's a player I think I like better than a lot of guys, but that's Nico Horner. Come on down.
He should have a decent season, I think, this year. Now, listen to my outfield, Kevin. This is atrocious, or it could be phenomenal.
Okay, go ahead.
Chris Bryant, who we all agree I took too early. Carroll from Arizona. Starling Marte,
like.
Giancarlo Stanton, and Christian Yelich.
Okay.
This is like the all-time.
That's got
this
more
is the
question
all-time
marks.
take a chance on guys.
Yeah, absolutely. It could blow up in your face.
Yeah.
And I was going to say that word that I can't say very often. It could blow up with a lot of fireworks.
Yeah.
Let's put it to you that way.
It could go either way. I mean,
it could be.
There's potential. Now it's
okay. So
I'm gonna
that's your outfield. This is my outfield. I got Betts, then I got Mullins, then Robert, then I've got Vaughn. That's my outfield so far.
I like your outfield better than my outfield.
There's a lot of upside there, a lot of proven players. And
Jared Walsh, I like that pick a lot. The dad took him.
Okay. There's a first baseman you're taking this late in the draft that has lots of upside.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that pick a lot. All right, so I need to figure out how I want to go now. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, we're at that point in the draft where you just might as well cover up your eyes and wherever you pick.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's not something I'd be too excited about right there. And this is a player, Lars. How do you ever pronounce this? Newbar?
Newbar, yeah.
That's a guy that I have seen about 1 million different takes on him. Some for, many more against. I think that the fours are the more accurate on him. He's got a lot of upside, and so can't hate on that pick.
Sonny Gray, that's a good pick.
That's a guy that a lot of people have forgotten about.
I forgot I kind of mad at myself for not seeing him on the list.
Okay, so yeah, we got some guys who
Scott Barlow. Yeah, I don't care about those guys.
No. Now Bednar is coming up, but he could be an excellent pitcher, but he pitches for the worst team.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm not
going to get a lot of save opportunities unless he gets traded.
Yeah.
Which could happen.
It could.
Jordan Walker, third baseman. I don't know about all
that. He knows something we don't. Dan does on Jordan Walker.
So Chase is back on. So what is Chase going to do here?
My goodness, I'm looking at these guys. I don't like these guys, man. Why hasn't anybody drafted these people yet? Why are they leaving these guys here for us?
Okay, I don't hate that pick. Duran is a relief pitcher for Minnesota.
How many relief pitchers do you have, Kev?
I have the one.
Okay, I'm at 0.
That's probably the way it's going to stay. And I'm not taking Gonzalez. I'm sorry, not happening. But I do like perhaps Patrick Sandoval of the Angels.
Sandoval's an interesting one. I've already got an Angels pitcher, so I wouldn't have two. But yeah, Sandoval's an interesting pick there. Gonsolin goes there as well. As you know, Suarez gets taken. Man, we're just hunting for guys
Yeah.
now. I'm too
Yeah,
afraid to answer.
Eugenio Suarez is a guy who has absolutely burned my backside. So I am not. He's got a lot of talent, but he strikes out way too much.
Andrew Haney makes the move to Texas. I'm going to stay away from him.
Not looking at that.
But here's a guy I love. And I love that he got out of Oakland. He's now in Baltimore. Cole Irvin actually did decent last year in Oakland. So I'm excited about what he can do outside of Oakland.
Your dad takes him just right now.
I took him. That's me.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah, I'm
doing that. I'm my bad. Okay.
Yeah,
there's two Sobers going on right here.
Yeah, and then I'm going to take a guy with versatility that I like as well. Paredes from Tampa.
Ooh, okay.
And he gets a lot of versatility options there. Can move him around. Pasquantino at first base. Ty France with first base. I needed a second, third baseman. And Paredes offers that to me, as well as a first base and second base option too. So kind of gives me, I don't have a lot of versatility on my team right now.
Yeah, usually that versatility is something that I really, really like, and I don't have a lot of that so far.
I'm struggling with that. I need to go look at my dad's team.
Arias I have, Edmund I have, and Vaughn. So there's a little versatility there.
Yeah, my dad likes to do versatile stuff. It doesn't look like he's got a lot of that this year either.
I can guarantee you right now, Carlos Santana not coming down. And I'm almost hating myself for doing this, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Mr. LeMahieu.
Interesting. Yeah, LeMahieu.
He's got the versatility that we just talked about.
The question with him is how much is he going to play?
Right.
That's the big question.
That's the question, but he could play so many different places. All they have to do is
slide
him into one or the other spot. So
Reed Detmers comes off.
Okay. He's a guy that I like. Fantasy pros, not so much. I was just reading an article that they have him down as being one of the bust candidates of the year.
Oh,
I'm not sure I'm into that. But this point in the draft, you're just hoping to get somebody that has upside. It's all upside at this point in the draft.
All right, David Bednard goes, Segura goes, Carlos Santana goes, rolling off the board.
Yeah, Mike, you can have Carlos Santana.
Graveman goes. Alexis Diaz. This is some interesting picks that are coming off the board right now. And again, we're
talking about
round 23 of 26. So we're at the end of the draft where guys are trying to find some value. Marcus Stroman goes. I told you last week. I don't even want to sniff Marcus Stroman.
No, because he's, like I said, he's the guy that I put on my team just in time for him to go out and take a big dump on the field.
How about a guy that was going top 6 rounds 2 years ago, Cabrian Hayes? He goes here in round 23. Talk about a guy who's fallen off the board in fantasy.
He's a guy that needs help finding first base.
Yeah. But again, picking him at 23, he's still really young, and there's good potential that, he could always have that breakout year, and you'll sit there and go, hey, I'll take my chances with him. All right, let's see here. Everybody's searching for how they're going to fill out their rosters. Oh, I was going to take him. You got him. Good job, Chase. You got your Brewer. William Contreras, the catcher.
All right. Now, this may seem like a reach, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Martin Perez.
Martin Perez.
There's no chance that I'm thinking he's going to repeat a year ago, but he's looked good in the World Baseball Classic. I'm not sure how much credit how much you can put on that, but if he even comes close to what he did a year ago, there's lots to like about that.
All right, so I'm going to dip into the relievers here.
Okay.
I'm going to take a swing at a guy that used to be good, and with the Edwin Diaz injury, may be good again. David Robertson with the Mets. And then, now this is where it gets tricky because now you got guys who may or may not close. Will they get holds? Is a big question mark as well. And can you just pick these guys up later? It's kind of the question marks right now.
Right.
I'm gonna go. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna go Fairbanks from Tampa. They don't have one closer. They tend to go through a lot of different guys, but that could provide opportunities between holds and closes for him, saves for him.
Yeah, that could be a guy who starts a game. You never know.
Man, I don't love my team.
And my pitching staff, I'm a little, I don't know about all that, but the hitting I think is okay, especially since I got Betts, Machado, and Simeon at the top, and I got Riley, then Mullins. Can't believe I took two third basemen, but as we've talked about, third base is a very precarious position.
And I'll tell you what, I still think Betts is going to get that second base eligibility. And if he does,
if that happens, then
you win the draft.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a pitcher that's been sitting here for a minute that coming off an injury, but he's pitched in the spring training, and that is Mr. Michael Kopech. Come on down.
Okay. Oh boy. I'm trying to figure out.
Okay, so now I've got 11 pitchers, so I need to pivot away from that. With all these guys, you could pick and be on the waiver wire in 7 days flat.
Chase, I like that pick. Jared Kelenic.
Yes. He's a guy who has gotten a lot of ink written about him. And so there's upside all day long with him. He just has to stay on the field and in the major leagues.
Well, this is a fun point of the draft where you're starting to see guys taking swings. Riley Green, Dan D'Amico gets him, outfielder from Detroit, young kid, exciting player.
Taking a big swing.
I like that one. You're Quiddy from Houston. Dad took him. I like that one. Javi Baez at this point in the draft. I actually like the Javi Baez pick.
I like that because he can give you some stuff. He can hit the ball. He can do some things. So 25th round, no problem with that. Charlie Blackmon, no.
Man, guys are flying now. McCutcheon. Oh man. Yeah, this is a very interesting part of the draft.
Jeez, what are you going to do?
Chase. Nick.
Hey, Kevin, what are you going to do? Let's see here.
Yeah, Kev, what are you going to do?
How about if I do this right here? I'm going to take an Oakland A. You're not going to believe this.
Tony Kemp. Oh, you didn't read my article. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Kemp's going to bat top of the order. If Oakland's going to give you anything, it makes sense that it's him that does it.
I just like that second base outfield
I like
that he
that pick by Nick Brandon Drury. Lots of
Ooh, that's a great pick. That's a great pick, Nick.
great pick, Nick. All right, let's see here. All right, so I'm going to go with the guy that I've preached about, that I said, hey, this guy's going to be back this year. And everybody laughs at me, but hey, I got 2 picks left in there. So we're going to go Cody Bellinger.
Okay.
There.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that, Vince.
And then for my last pick, I'm going to go with the guy that I probably don't have to draft, but I think he's going to get a ton of holds this year for Milwaukee, Matt Bush. I'm probably the only person in the world that drafted Matt Bush in a fantasy draft, but but in our league where your holds count for 5 points, I like what he can give me there. All right, so we're down to the final round. Nick Macaronis is on the clock. Then we've got 3 guys auto drafting as well. And then Brennan Myers, who had the first overall pick and drafted Shohei Ohtani, he'll round us out with the final pick in the draft. 10-man head-to-head points league. We're an hour and a half in on the draft. It's moving pretty well, I'd say, Kev.
Okay. Yep, it's working.
While we're looking at it, let's see here. I'm the only roster that's complete, so I'll read off my team here. Adley Rutschman, Vinny Pasquantino, Ozzy Albies, Nolan Arenado, Trey Turner, Willie Adames, Ty France, Chris Bryant.
So let's take a look right here. What I'm gonna do. Good thing we got 40 seconds.
Yeah, you got plenty of time. I can't even see who's available since my draft is done. Go Josh Young, man. Third base, Texas. It's my sleeper pick. I think he's the only sleeper pick I've had that's still available.
I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to take my second catcher, Danny Jansen.
Danny Jansen.
Okay, so I'm off the board now.
Off the board. I think
Hunter Brown. I must say I don't know a whole lot about Mr. Hunter Brown. Josh Rojas, I like that. Daniel Bard. I'm not taking a relief pitcher for the Colorado Rockies.
No, me neither. Me neither. But another guy now, and he had a horrible outing in the World Baseball Classic the other night. But maybe he gets traded this year too. You never know if the Rockies decide just to get rid of everybody. Who we got? Dad goes, Mark Hanna, and then the final pick of the draft, Brennan Myers, pick 260.
Okay, I was looking at him.
Who's he going to pick here?
Last player off the board is.
While we're waiting for him to pick, let's see here. Who did Cal Riley? I'm surprised you didn't go with him, Kev. Your sleeper.
Okay, I thought about that, but the big K's is what scared me off of him.
Yeah, I don't like Riley. I know you did. I'm not a fan of him this year. I think he's dangerous in a bad way. All right, let's talk about our rosters real quick, Kevin.
Okay.
Run through your roster.
Okay, here's my roster. I got Betts in the outfield, Machado at third, Simeon at second, Strider as pitcher. Then I got Riley at third, so third base is locked down. Then I got Gallen, Mullins in the outfield, Arias at first and second base. Then I got Robert at the outfield, Tommy Edman as a second base shortstop. Then I got Montgomery, the pitcher for the Cardinals, Presley, the relief pitcher for Houston, Nathan Lowe, first base for Texas. Then I got Molly, pitcher for Minnesota, Rasmussen for Tampa Bay, Andrew Vaughn, outfielder, first base, DH for the White Sox. So I got 2 White Sox. And here were the guy that was all talking about the White Sox. What happened? I get 2.
You went out and got him, yeah.
Yeah. So then I've got Alex Cobb, pitcher for the Giants, Springs, pitcher, Tampa Bay. And then I got Stevenson, catcher, Nico Horner, shortstop for the Cubs, Patrick Sandoval, pitcher, Angels, LeMahieu for the Yankees, Perez for Texas, Kopech for another Chicago White Sox. Then I got Tony Kemp, Oakland, and then Danny Jansen to fill out.
I really thought you were going to go pitcher heavy this year, and you really didn't. You ended
I
up
went offense the
strong
first 3
on
picks.
offense. Yeah, and I like your offense. Your offense, it's a good offense. Tyler Stevenson needs to stay healthy. But if he does, he's going to be really good at catcher. You got Arias. Gives you some versatility, but you got him at first. Simeon, Machado, and Riley. I mean, Machado and Riley, at the worst case scenario, you got trade bait. Best case scenario, you got 2 of the top third basemen in the league. Edmund, again, a good pick there. Horner, Betts, Mullins, Robert, and your outfield is good. I like Vaughn as well. Not a huge fan of Kemp, but and then pitching though, I don't know. I think you took some shots there. Strider and Gallen, I do like. Rasmussen late, I like him. Cobb late as well. I like that too. I'm not a huge Presley guy. Molly, I don't love. Montgomery, I don't love. But pitching gets points in this league, and you can survive with those guys. And then you did take a second catcher. What was your philosophy on that?
Well, because Stevenson is the guy that I took, and I think he's not the guy that's going to get Melendez, 6 games a week. So Stevenson he's going to need to get, even though he might play DH. We have to see about that. But I was thinking, well, he's going to give me 3 or 4, and I'm going to need another catcher for the other 3 days.
Yeah.
And normally I just, leave the catcher alone. But, Danny Jansen is a guy who plays for Toronto.
Right.
And they've got a great offense. And so he doesn't have to worry about Mr. Outfield poaching at, behind the plate.
Yeah.
So I think catcher, I'm locked down at catcher now.
I came into this thinking I was going to go pitcher heavy. My first 2 picks, though, Trey Turner was the first pick, Nola my second pick. I really wanted Mookie Betts. You took Betts at 7? Is that where you were, 7?
Yeah, 7. And the whole reason why I did that is because I didn't take a first baseman because I thought Goldschmidt would be there in the 3rd.
Oh, okay.
That was my whole thought process.
Yeah.
By not taking a first baseman, either Freeman, or anything like that. I was like, well, I think I can get Goldschmidt in the 3rd. It's a lot more value. But then, of course, that did not happen.
My whole team is dependent on good seasons for everybody, right? So my pitching staff is Nola, Woodruff, who I really didn't plan to draft. I figured I'd pass on him. But when I didn't get pitchers as early as I thought I was going to, I knew I was going to need guys. So I got Nola, Woodruff, Lodolo, who I really like for Cincinnati, Glasnow, who's injured but will be back soon. Peralta, if he can stay healthy, should produce some points. Tyler Anderson, who had a phenomenal year last year. Now he does move to the Angels. It's a different ballpark, different team, everything. Cal Quantrill, Luzardo, who I really like Luzardo, and Cole Irvin, late picks, but again, they're going to have to step up. And then relief pitchers, David Robinson, Pete Fairbanks, and Matt Bush. I'm really playing off the holds in this one. Then offensively, I got Richmond, who I love at catcher. Pasquantino, who a lot of people like at first base. I don't love him, but it was kind of one of those deals where he was the guy to take at that spot. Arenado, Trey Turner, Willie Adames.
You gotta love Arenado.
Yeah. I told you before, I got to have Willie Adames on every team I have. So I was going to go get him, and I went and got
31 homers. So,
Ty France, I got late as well.
Okay.
Outfield is
like that.
Big question mark. Chris Bryant, Corbin Carroll, Starling Marte, Giancarlo Stanton, Christian Yelich there as well. I also got Cody Bellinger. And then Isaac Paredes, who I'm taking a shot on as a utility guy, can play multiple positions. Should see enough bats in Tampa to be productive as well. They got rid of some guys, some things moved around. So my offense is really I'm going to take a shot on guys who've had good history, and Chris Bryant, Yelich, Stanton, Bellinger, and then Corbin Carroll's the young guy who I really, really wanted on my team.
And you got him, and I like that a lot. So as we talked about, he is a guy, he's got speed through his whole body. And so he does. And he's going to be in their lineup. And I don't think it's going to be too big for him to be in the major leagues.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a good lineup, a young,
Yes.
no question, but they're going to have a solid lineup this year. So I like that a lot.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. Next week, we're going to look back at the draft. We'll look through it this week and see if there's anything that stands out to us. We'll talk about that. Working on finalizing a guest for next week's show as well. We'll talk about what now as the season's getting ready to start, waiver wire stuff, injury stuff, all kinds of different things to look at to get you ready for the season. Then that's next Sunday. Then next Tuesday, a week from this Tuesday, the Belly Up Baseball Super Show is going to be on the Belly Up YouTube page. We'll have guests on from all over the Belly Up Network to talk about the baseball season. It won't be a fantasy show. It'll just be an actual baseball show talking about things for the upcoming season as well.
And of course, I will be representing the Dodgers.
Representing the Dodgers. Yes, indeed. We might have to make you represent some other teams too.
You just let me know who that might be.
Okay.
And I'll just have like the jerseys on standby.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Our program today, as always, is presented by BellyUpFantasySports.com. Go check out the website. All kinds of articles, advice, opinions, things like that available for you. And then also Righteous Felon Jerky. Go to RighteousFelon.com. Use the code BELLYUP at checkout. You're going to get 15% off your purchase there as well. So if we still have people listening an hour and 37 minutes in, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
And if anyone out there would like to make a comment about what we just went through,
yeah,
that would be great as well. And because I'm going to be writing a recap of the first round of this draft. That's going to be my article this week.
Okay.
And so we'll see what people have to say about who we picked, and we'll see what they have to say.
Yeah, see their thoughts on it. All right, you can follow Kevin at Kevin62, WILSEA. You can follow me at Sports Stove. We will be back live on Sunday. We'll hope that you'll join us there. Thank you for tuning in to the day's edition of the Sports Stove Fantasy Baseball Show. Until next time, we'll see you around the Sports Stove.